I told my wife when we got together, I already had firearms and stuff. Like, oh, when you get a firearm, which her first firearm was what is that? A Taurus, why can't a Taurus Spectrum in 380. That was my wife's first firearm. Why? Because it was pretty. It was white and teal. Yeah, because your first gun has to be pretty. Uh, you all saw my first gun wasn't anything pretty about it. That Springfield XD. Hey, little puppy. Uh, and that was my first gun. I did want it pretty though. I wanted that nickel slide, but I'm. Why are you barking at me? Ooh, to you too. Come here. You coming? Okay. You just gonna bark? Come here. So, okay, he just ran back under the van. One of the puppies came up to me recording. I guess I'm talking too much while I'm recording, and he's just, and then started walking over. I go to pick him up, and he runs away. But uh, my Springfield XD 45, that was my carry for quite some years. I For a little while I was still in New Jersey, I carried my Chiappa Rhino. Is it Chiappa or Chiappa? The 40DS. It's a 357 Magnum that instead of shooting out of the 12 o'clock up here, it shoots out of the 6 o'clock. So no revolver flip, it just went straight back. That I loved. But I think I had to send that one back because of the coating and stuff on it was like whatever they painted it with, it just would peel off. I'm not exactly sure. But I would tell my wife that, oh, whatever firearm you're going to have to go through a bunch of different holsters to figure out what works in most scenarios. And then you might have some specific holsters that work for, oh, only when you're dressed up, you're going to wear this holster, or only when you're going to go work out, you're going to wear this type of holster, but you want to try something in the middle. Now, when I first moved out here to Oklahoma, I was like, we live in the middle of nowhere. It's extremely dark outside. There's no light pollution. There's no street lamps or anything like that. You need a light on your firearm. So I ended up getting a Balder Mini from Olight. And of course, just like with everything, no one makes holsters for Springfield XDs. Everyone makes holsters for Glocks, and definitely no one makes holsters for Springfield XDs with Olight lights on them. So I was going all around. Then finally, I found this Israeli company, Orpaz, that made an adjustable holster that was a paddle holster outside the waistband that was a double retention holster, which I love this thing, wore the heck out of it until I was in Vegas and they were like, "What are you doing here?" And it was like 20 officers and 15 security guards during SHOT Show in 2023 that said, "Hey, you can't have a gun in here. What are you doing?" Like, oh, I'm filming stuff. Like, you need to be escorted out of the hotel casino. I'm not, it wasn't a casino, it was in one of the restaurant things that we were meeting with. I think it was Ian from Forgotten Weapons. And when I moved to Oklahoma, it's like open carry all day. Paddle, holster, fit right around my belt, nice, sturdy, and secure. This is what I ran. So, and what's really cool about this, it's a screw on there now because I tried adjusting some stuff in there. But the way that it holds on here is right here is a magnet, so it held onto the barrel of the firearm. Then it's missing right here. This was a like a little arm that went right there. So if somebody tried to pull on it, one, they had to defeat this mechanism here by you press with your thumb and then that would spin up. Then they would have to defeat the magnet that's on the inside. So that was a double retention. And if you squeeze these two parts right here, uh, can squeeze tighter on your firearm while it's in there. So when you go to draw, you grab the handle of your firearm, thumb down, that unlocks, and then you pull and you defeat the magnet to present to shoot. So love this thing. This thing was great. Eventually, I broke this. Then I was having issues with the Balder Mini with the laser. The battery just wasn't lasting long enough, and I said, "Oh, wanted to switch to something a little bit bigger." What I ended up switching to was the Valkyrie PL3 from Olight. You see that right there, and it's turning around right there. So you can see Olight, the Valkyrie PL3. It's rechargeable with their systems and everything. But with this holster and the Springfield XD, the Valkyrie does not fit in here. So this fit most Springfields with a light on it that's much skinnier. This light is so much thicker, so I had to try and figure out another holster solution. So we was it Ford Holster Company? We're friends with them, and reached out to him and said, "Hey, uh, I need a holster for a Springfield XD with a Valkyrie PL3 on it." He was like, "I can't do that because I don't have the molds for Springfields, but if you ever get a Glock, I got you." So I procrastinated around. I was getting ready for training with Saws. If you see him on YouTube or subscribe to his Patreon, Survival Weapons. I can never remember the what the acronym means, but uh, most of you that watch me should know. But if you don't, remind me in the comments to give you his page. He's a wealth of knowledge, and going to his one of his training classes is not like, oh, I just show up with my rifle and my equipment and all this other stuff and I learn a little bit of stuff. No, you go through this long process of getting together a gear list, figuring out how you're going to carry it, it's a long list of things. So then when you get out there, it's like, okay, now you're going to figure out what gear actually works for you. Like you're not just going buying your gun off the shelf and this and that. Like, okay, well, what's your most effective range firing your rifle that you have 0 to 100 yards? Like, I I guess 300 yards? You guess, or you sure? Yes, I'm sure because the previous weekend I I shot 1,000 yards. So yeah, I could do that. I could shoot 300 yards accurately. You sure about that? All right. Well, here's a target 25 yards away. Hit here. If you can shoot 300 yards accurately, 25 yards, you should be dead on, shouldn't you? Yes. Okay. And then the stakes got added higher and higher and higher. Like, okay, load and make ready. Fire. Whew. That was a reality check. Oh boy, was it. And that was when we went to train with Saul in North Dakota. In Montana, it was real different. So I didn't even wear this holster out there. We got out there with some of our gear list, and I had to make this. What is this, you might ask? This is a double retention holster. Yeah, that this right here is where your belt goes through, and we weren't even running real guns. Look at this plastic Glock 17 that goes right in here, and you see I got the little notch right there. And that was my holster for this training event. Outside the waistband, because kept it right here on my right side. And if you pull straight up, can't go. You have to angle it back to be able to draw and present. So this was my holster. Uh, this training gun came with a leather holster, which was this one right here. So I just had this laying around. I switched to the Valkyrie 2, and I was like, oh, am I going to go back to the Balder, or am I going to stick with the Valkyrie? I really like that Valkyrie, no, Valkyrie PL3, the rechargeable version. And then I thought about this holster when we got back. I was like, oh, my Springfield XD can fit inside here with the light, and this is what I rocked for a while. So I um what's the name? Why can't I think of the name? Ford Holster Company. When I asked them about making me that holster, he suggested another company, and that company was Gray Man Solutions. So I reached out to them. Uh, they said, "Oh, just go on our website, put in your firearm information. It'll take 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll get it out to you." I was like, "Okay." You go on the website, you put in what type of holster you want, what type of light you have, and all of these different configurations. And I was like, okay, that's going to be a go. But then life was happening, changing, living here completely off grid in the middle of nowhere on the side of a mountain. And I needed to do more solar panels. I needed to get more charge controllers. I needed to do all of these other things. So for that time being, this holster is what was keeping my firearm secure. I was able to draw from it. I had issues trying to reholster and all that stuff. But then uh, a month ago, was it a month ago? Yeah, just about. I was offered the sale of this Prodigy that I now carry. And what did I do? I got the Prodigy and I said, oh, will it fit? Yes, it does. So the Prodigy fit in this holster. So I was wearing this for a while with the Prodigy, thinking like, well, what am I going to do about a holster? Going online, seeing on Amazon, seeing this, seeing that. And I was like, wait, no, there's a company that can make proper holsters for me. Let me hit up Gray Man Solutions. So went to the website and ordered everything up and it was like, all right, boom. Now, mind you, I was on deployment in Barnesdall, Oklahoma, doing a cleanup, and I about to go to sleep. This is a late night purchase, and I went through, ordered what I thought that I wanted, and then once the deployment to Barnesdall was done, it was waiting here at my mailbox. So I ordered two different holsters from Gray Man Solution. I have one with a paddle and then one with a utility clip. Now, I'm not one for um, what is that? Appendix carry. No, I'm still rocking this at the 330 on my hip, and it's been working great. One thing that it's lacking because it's a Kydex holster and with a light goes in there and it's only squeeze retention. There is no audible click or anything like that. I always have to make sure that it's down in there. But once it's inside my pants with my belt around that, it gives it a nice little better squeeze. It's a heavier firearm. I have it tightened down really good so it doesn't fall out. But I'm not trying to let this just fall on the rocks and stuff here just in case. But it has really good draw, and that's awesome. Now, like I said, I didn't know what I needed or wanted, so I ordered two holsters, pretty much the exact same thing. just with the paddle holster. So let's show you it in the paddle holster. Come on. So here we are in the paddle holster right here. Exact same fit and feel. The only thing with this paddle holster is for the weight of the firearm. This is a really flexible paddle holster. I guess it's to form fit around you, but it felt like the firearm uh, was just flopping. Now, mind you, I've only had this for a few days, and I wore it out once. Had to readjust my new belt, which is the oh, why can't I think of the belt? Oh, the Groove Life Ultra, which is more flexible. So the flexible Groove Life belt, I had to crank down, well, tighten up because it's not one of those ratchet belts anymore. I had to tighten that up to get this to stay nice and secure to my body. But see how it's flexing. I'm glad that this is made in the USA, but this flexing, I'm not sure if I can count on this to hold this heavy of a firearm unless I crank my belt down really tight. If it was just like this, which, as you can see, is, well, maybe you can see, made in Israel, but this is not flexible like that. I'm pulling on this hard. I can't bend or flex this, and this would stay nice and secure on my belt. Maybe I could do a hybrid of things, take the screws out on this, see if the two screws up here are the same size as set up here, and see if that works on here. So when when I want to carry outside the waistband, that I can use the paddle off of here on this Gray Man Solutions holster. I don't know if you can see their logo. Get closer and closer. So far, so good. I love this one. I like this one. And I think it's just the paddle shift. Granted, there's not a better retention system on here. Maybe if I put something on the inside, like some padding or something, it'll cinch everything down. As you can see on both of them, I have them cranked down pretty good to keep the retention up. But with the utility clip, yeah, utility clips that's on here, plus with my belt and my body pressing up against it, I haven't had any issues. But granted, I'm not an FBI agent that does backflips at parties, so we may never know that if I go inverted, if this will fall out. We will eventually find out if I am in the prone position, I have to get up and down, doing drills, running, falling, or something like that. If this will retain my firearm, I might have to talk with Gray Man Solutions and see what they would suggest to have a better retention. Maybe if I am running this in a more tactical situation, if I needed to put a strap over it or something like that just to keep it there. So if I'm diving through trees with my rifle, I don't leave my firearm behind. But go check all these people out. Go check out Ford Holster Company. Go check out Gray Man Solutions. And if I had a Glock, I would probably have a Ford holster, but I don't. I love Springfield. They're awesome. Look at how beautiful that thing is. What? Do you see that? That that thing is amazing. Springfield for the win. Gray Man Solutions for the win. Ford Holster Company for suggesting me to Gray Man Solutions. And that's pretty much it for me. That's my holster update, going from this. Well, actually, no. Going from this that way, this to this. Y'all have a blessed day. Shalom.